Hi, I'm Marcus Michles, and I'm joined today by truly one of the most remarkable people I've ever met in my whole life. I'm just so happy today to have Brenda Brown here today. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you know, sometimes in this job, I represent people and families that have endured tragedy, car accident deaths, medical malpractice deaths, just horrible, horrible accidents. And sometimes, once in a very rare time, do I come across an individual that is just bigger than the tragedy that happened to them. And Brenda's one of those people. And she was in the wrong place at the wrong time back in 2010, 2011.
2010.
2010, she was at work doing her thing, and three horrible men had broken out of a prison in Louisiana and were on the run and came upon her and savagely injured her and beat her to the point where she lost several fingers on one hand. We'll talk a little bit about the miracle of the prosthetics in a moment. But she survived just a terrible ordeal. These gentlemen went on to murder someone that they kidnapped in Tallahassee. They shot a federal marshal. It was a horrible crime, a terrible crime spree. And Brenda was at work at the time and came to us, and we helped you with your workers' compensation claim.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And we're still involved, years later, in litigation in Louisiana over the Department of Corrections, the sheriff's office, for how they maintained the prison. And we're still working on that. We've been fighting that for years now, right?
That is correct.
But Brenda, let's focus on just the amazing side of this, and that's you and your recovery.
Okay.
Where did you find the strength? How did you find the strength to handle those injuries with so much grace and dignity and just so much courage?
The biggest part is you got to have faith in yourself, and a faith, whether it's a God himself or whatever, a bigger entity that's going to help you go through this, put it in his hands or her hands, whichever the case may be in your belief, and ask daily, this happened to me, I don't understand it, but how and where can I help others? And through that you can gain strength every day. It's not to say I don't reflect on what happened, and there's times that I get scared, but that's when I really dig deep down and say, I know I can beat this. I'm not going to allow those guys to take more than what they took already.
Yeah.
And each and every day I get up and say, okay, this is a new day, a new learning process, because I had to learn everything all over again, because they actually got 5 of my fingers, 3 off of one hand and 2 off of another. And so I had to function differently to do or try to do the things I've done before.
And let me ask you this, for the people that might be looking at us and thinking, well, I don't know whether a lawyer or a law firm can solve my problems. Certainly, as a lawyer and as our law firm came to help you, we were just a small part of your overall problem picture. But tell us, how did that work for you? I mean, how was the experience for you working with lawyers to solve some of these problems?
I was, at first, I'm going, well, you know, I have an expectation, and to explain what had happened and to have the understanding, and then the law firm comes in and says, yes, we can help you, and we will help you go through the process of getting those things that you think are necessary for you to continue on, getting the proper medical bills paid by the proper people. And because this happened while I was on the job, worker comp was starting to slack back on paying the bills, and the creditors were coming after me. I hadn't been working and I couldn't go to work, and I was starting to get panicked because
It puts a lot of pressure on the injured person, doesn't it?
It does. It puts a lot of pressure. It's like, where's my next step? And I talk to family members and friends, and they say, well, you need to get some legal help in order to get some of this, at least the pressure off of you.
So you came to us. I remember
Yes.
meeting you. It was a fantastic day. And then Brian got involved. Brian Carter
Yes.
got involved, and he was very instrumental in getting those benefits taken care of and untangling those knots. Tell us about your experience with Brian and Sarita and the legal assistants up there.
Oh, I think highly of them. I mean, they answered the questions when I would call in and have questions, or when I would stop by, because I got my information when I went to the doctors that I was told by workers' comp, you have to go to this place or that place. I would always ask, could I get copies of notes or lab work or whatever for my personal files, and then I brought them in and said, these are my copies, but you can copy them to have for whatever you need to help further information for you. And they were just happy to do that. And it kind of helped combine information of not only what happened to me and what I'm going through, but it also helps to gain a better foothold upon their next step to how to further help you with your case.
And there's always a little bit of worry on my part when I'm sitting with a client like you that have been in the system for so long, and there's so many people out there that'll watch and they'll say, what on earth is taking so long? And we're caught in a system in Louisiana, laws that, if you ask me, don't make good sense, but a process that has been grinding, and we've been working and trying to get affidavits for judges on subject matter that has to do with fugitives all the way to St. Augustine. And we've worked this thing for years, and you've been a part of the work every step of the way. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, being the attack happened on a day that I just say is a non-day anymore. It was April 1st, 2010. The biggest day, everybody said, oh, I'm going to play joke, I'm going to play joke. And it wasn't a joke. It was a serious thing that happened. And how I process all of that and how I go forth, I just say it's a non-day, but I continue to do my best to live that day to the fullest. Because again, I'm not going to allow those who have done me wrong win more than what they already have.
Yeah.
I'm going to step up to the plate and be the best person that I can be.
Well, let me ask you this. Did the lawyers make it easier or harder? I mean, sometimes we have a tendency to make things even harder than they need to be.
Actually, it was easier because once the creditors found out that I had hired an attorney to help, they stopped calling me on every other day, and then it was once a week, and then it became once a month. And then it was a letter saying, oh, here's a bill, and I come in and I'm going, oh, they're not paying the bill anymore. I would bring it in, or I would call and say, I got this bill, and the lawyer said, oh, just bring it in or mail it to us and we'll take care of it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. You know,
Pretty good option if it works.
You got to put faith in whom you have chosen to help you. And if you put that step forward and say, okay, they're going to do the best for me, and it's for me. And once you do that, then things go a lot smoother. But if you come in with an attitude, well, here's another bill, or here's this, and you come in with an attitude, I'm a person, you get what you put out. If you're going to put out a bad attitude and an attitude of, well, you owe me, then that tends to set an attitude back towards you.
I'm going to tell a story on you. I think it's true. I didn't ask you about this before we came on the camera, but we had a box out in front of our receptionist's desk to collect for people up in Century from the hurricane. This was just last month. And you stopped by to drop off some paperwork and noticed that box didn't have anything in it yet. And so the story that I heard was, as you left, you went and you got some stuff to put back and to donate to those victims of the hurricane. The tornadoes, and came back and put some stuff in that box.
Yes.
I know that's not easy for you. You're not a wealthy person, but you're just giving back in every way that you possibly can. And I think people ought to know that about you. You're that kind of person.
Well, again, I try to do my best, because though I don't have a lot, what I have, I can help others with. And the more I give, seems to be the more I get back. And it's like, wow, I haven't done anything special. Nothing I wouldn't have done on a regular daily basis.
Well, with your permission, we're going to put these pictures into the file, and people can see it on our website. The prosthetic work that was done for you to have replacement fingers was fantastic cosmetically. Yes. You're not wearing them at all times because they don't function, they don't bend as much, right?
Right.
But the amazing pictures of the prosthetic fingers that were made for you are really remarkable. But the most remarkable thing, Brenda, about this is you. You are the most amazing person. I got to tell you, Blake's been with us a long time. He's never heard me say anything like that. Connor's going to write the story. If we could represent 100 Brendas, we'd take that as a blessing. So,
well, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, you're patient because we've been working this file for a long time. But you are our client of the month. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't know what parting prizes you get. Maybe you don't get anything. I don't know. But we just want you to know how happy we are that you chose us.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to continue to work for you.
Yes, I promote your establishment, your firm, a lot because I was treated with utmost respect.
Great.
By everybody in your firm. Great. From the time I walked into the door all the way through, and still continually have great experience every time I come in to visit.
Good, good. Well, we'll keep that up then. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
You can find us on www.forthevictims.com, and we'll have this on as our client of the month. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next month.